Insights from Introduction and Chapter 1. Number 1. This is a book for women, in particular those who have felt overwhelmed and exhausted by everything they had to do, and yet still worried they were not doing enough. Number 2. Burnout can be defined by 3 components. 1. Emotional exhaustion. 2. Depersonalization. And 3. A decreased sense of accomplishment. Number 3. People who identify as givers are especially prone to burnout because they tend to believe that they aren't allowed to inconvenience anyone with emotions. Consequently, they are trapped in a situation where they are not free to move through their stress. Number 4. People thrive when they have a positive goal to move towards, and not just a negative situation or feeling they're trying to move away from. Number 5. Stress is the neurological and physiological shift that happens in your body when you encounter a threat. It's an evolutionary adaptive response. Number 6. Even if a threat is gone, your body may still remain stuck in the middle of the stress response. Number 7. You can get stuck in a stress cycle for 3 main reasons. 1. You have a chronic stressor. 2. It's socially inappropriate to do the thing that would relieve the stress, like punching someone. 3. It's safer to ignore the stressor than to confront it. Number 8. Freeze is what your brain decides that you're not going to be able to escape or fight, and the best thing to do is just shut down. When this happens, you need to complete the stress response cycle. Number 9. Physical activity is the single most efficient strategy for completing the stress response cycle. Number 10. Other ways to complete the stress cycle include deep breathing, positive social interaction, laughter, crying, affection, and creative expression. Number 11. Everybody is different, and you should find the strategy that works best for you. Number 12. If your body feels out of whack, you're repeating self-destructive behaviors, or you hide from your life, these are the signs that you need to immediately deal with the stress itself, even if it means temporarily ignoring the stressor. Insights from Chapter 2. Number 1. The monitor is the part of your brain that decides whether to keep trying or to give up. Once we're aware of how it works, we can influence our own brain's functioning with strategies for dealing with both controllable and uncontrollable stressors. Number 2. If you can control the stressor, strategic problem solving is the way to go. Number 3. If you can't control the stressor, you need to reappraise the situation in a positive way. Number 4. If neither of the above work, you should redefine your expectations and what it means to both win and fail. Number 5. To help you decide whether it would be better and healthier for you to walk away from a situation, write 4 lists. What are the benefits of continuing? What are the benefits of stopping? What are the costs of continuing? What are the costs of stopping? Number 6. Look at your 4 lists and make a decision based on your estimates of maximizing benefit and minimizing cost. Remember to consider both the long-term and the short-term costs and benefits. Number 7. If you're feeling frustrated and challenged, but not helpless, isolated and trapped, you may want to stay and keep trying. Insights from Chapter 3. Number 1. It is essential to have meaning in your life. Meaning is the feeling that you matter in some larger sense. It helps us thrive when things are going well, and it helps us cope when things go wrong in our lives. Number 2. Research has found that meaning is most likely to come from 3 kinds of sources: pursuit or ambitious goals that leave a legacy, service to a spiritual calling, an emotionally intimate connection with others. Number 3. Human giver syndrome is a conditioned set of beliefs and behaviours based on the idea that the only meaning in life comes from being pretty, happy, calm, generous and attentive to the needs of others. Women especially suffer from human giver syndrome. Number 4. However, giving should not be at the expense of your well-being. Rather, it's about finding a deeper sense of purpose in your life in a way that respects your own needs. Meaning comes from within. It is what you make of the world, not what the world makes of you. Insights from Chapter 4. Number 1. Women and girls tend to be systematically excluded from government and other systems of power, a phenomenon referred to as patriarchy. Number 2. White men have an unconscious bias that makes them prefer white men, and they have a systematic bias that makes them more likely to hire white men. Number 3. In addition to the threat of acute physical and sexual violence, women face chronic gendered stressors every day. Number 4. The patriarchy denies that it exists. It says that if women struggle, it's their own fault for not being good enough. This way of making you doubt your own judgment and real external problems is called gaslighting. Number 5. Gaslighting is when someone tells you that you are imagining things that are really happening, that you are wrong about what you see and hear, that you are crazy. It's when someone tells you that your feelings are not valid. Number 6. Society conditions women more than men to feel like they need to constantly sacrifice or deny their own needs in order to serve others, what was referred to as human giver syndrome. Number 7. The solution is to revolt against the patriarchy by making meaning. Engaging with your sense of something larger helps heal human giver syndrome. Insights from Chapter 5. Number 1. Society teaches women that they must be thin in order to be attractive and lovable, and so many women are unable to form a healthy relationship with their bodies. Number 2. The bikini industrial complex is the name given to a $100 billion industry that profits by establishing unachievable physical ideals for women. It convinces them that they must conform to the ideal and then sell them ineffective but plausible strategies for achieving that ideal. Number 3. One example is the notion that attractiveness and sexiness is based on being thin. Bias against people of size can be more dangerous to our health than the actual size of our bodies, and many of the things we do to try and change our bodies makes our health worse. Number 4. To help combat societal and corporate notions of unattractiveness, embrace your mess. See yourself as the new hotness and tune into your body's needs. Insights from Chapter 6. Number 1. Part of being a human is that we need other people. This need is not just romantic and it's not just sexual. It's about various types of connection. Number 2. Connection with friends, family, pets, the divine, etc. is as necessary as food and water. Humans are not built to function autonomously. Number 3. Certain kinds of connection create positive energy. When you share mutual trust with someone, you co-create energy that renews you both. Number 4. Sadness, rage, and the feeling that you are not enough are forms of loneliness. When you experience these emotions, connect with the people who make you feel renewed and cared for. Insights from Chapter 7. Number 1. We are not built to work incessantly, but to oscillate between effort and rest. On average, humans need to spend 42% of our time, or about 10 hours a day, on rest. Number 2. Rest doesn't just mean sleep, but also includes switching from one type of activity to another. In other words, variety. Number 3. Although seen as unproductive, daydreaming is a good thing, and you should do it more often. It's the brain's way of resting after a task. Number 4. If your brain has been overstimulated, it needs time to take a break and process what you have experienced. If you try to push it to work harder, you will get lower quality work. Number 5. Sleep is also essential for healing. If you struggle with depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues, which more than twice as many women as men do, sleep is medicine for you. Physical activity is also crucial. Number 6. In order to have time for rest, you need to get rid of the things in your life that steal your time. Insights from Chapter 8. Number 1. In every woman there is a mad woman, a demon that makes her feel like a fraud who is always telling her she's not good enough. Number 2. Your mad woman is the part of you that tries to bridge the gap between who you are and who you are expected to be, or who you want to be. A lot of self-criticism originates from this gap. Number 3. Self-compassion and gratitude empower us to recognize the difference between who we are and who the world expects us to be without beating ourselves up. Number 4. We shouldn't wait for the world to change before we begin to heal ourselves and one another. We must begin with ourselves. We hope you enjoyed insights on Emily Nagoski and Amelia Nagoski's Burnout. Purchase the book to learn more.